We've made it, and we're live. Welcome.
We've made it, huh?
We have made it indeed. The Dropshot Call of Duty podcast, episode 558.
Yes.
And finally, it's here. The much anticipated, what we've all been waiting for, RedSec weekly patch update.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Black Ops 7 has sort of launched.
It's on the 18th, huh?
Didn't ask. So yeah, it's sort of launched because of the New Zealand thing. So a lot of people are playing right now, but it hasn't like officially launched for everyone else. But there's gameplay out there and stuff. And we also have obviously a lot of news, some patch notes, some other things to get into. So before we get started, just a quick announcement. Unfortunately, no Saturday episode this week. I will be out of town for my mother's birthday. We're going somewhere. I don't know where.
Nice timing, man.
Really bad stuff, unfortunately. We planned this months and months ago. I don't think the launch date was even out yet. It definitely wasn't, actually. So we booked like an Airbnb and shit. So yeah, I'll be gone Friday night and Saturday night. So, however, we'll still do what we would have done on Saturday next week on Thursday. So a little first impressions type beat and all of that. So that's announcement number one, and that's kind of it. Yeah, our latest Patreon ep, I believe, was Q&A, I want to say?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
We might have done something else. I'm not sure. But we've got more Patreon eps coming down the pike soon. So keep that inside of your minds. And now that the game's actually launched, there's stuff to talk about there. So that's going to be really good. So yeah. With that said, let's get into it. So the main thing we're going to talk about today is kind of random first impressions and the patch notes we've gotten. But we also did get some other news a couple days ago, prior to launch, that I found very interesting. So before that, just as a reminder, the New Zealand trick does work. So right now you can play. If you don't know what that means, go to Charlie Intel's Twitter. They've made a tweet about how to do it. It depends on what platform you're on, basically. But you change your system, Xbox, PlayStation, computer, whatever, to like New Zealand region, and then you can play. Basically, there are more steps than that. Go to the Twitter if you want them. Or if you have any friends that are playing that have done it for you, you can just join on them.
Yeah,
so
just simply join on them.
There's probably someone in our Discord playing right now. Just join on them. Just say like, hey, add me. And then you don't have to do any of that bullshit. Log in. And then just join their game and then it'll work. That worked last year. It's confirmed working this year. So there are people playing right now. Now, outside of that, I've been watching some gameplay. Tanner and I have not played it yet. Because of the New Zealand thing, honestly, until like 20 minutes ago, I forgot about the join on someone thing. But I've also been having internet problems.
Well, that didn't always work. So we had talked about that last episode. There's
okay.
This last game or the game before that didn't work, but I don't know. Somebody in our chat told us it works, so they're probably wrong. Who told us? Oh, it was Pat. So I believe Pat, actually. Okay. Yeah. So that should work.
Bro's a Pat believer, yeah. So anyway.
I'm a believer in Pat, man.
So we haven't played yet, so keep that in mind. But I've been watching some gameplay, and then obviously we'll play at some point. So with that said, we did get patch notes, but before that, I want to share this tweet with you.
Oh, okay.
This is from Treyarch 2 days ago. So this was about 30 hours before the launch of the game, by the way. And recall, the last thing they had said in their post-beta blog post was like, hey, we're going to remove SBMM. we're going to nerf aim assist, and we're going to keep lobbies together. And I think maybe some other things. I'll wait. I'm just going to wait for my dog.
We'll be waiting a while.
It's just terrible fucking stuff. Really bad stuff. Anyway, okay. That was the last thing, and everyone was very excited about it. Very excited about it. And I was a little skeptical, so let's see what we got 2 days ago. Thanks to your beta feedback, says Treyarch, the majority of Black Ops 7's multiplayer playlists will have open matchmaking, which will be similar to the beta experience where skill is minimally considered. Okay, well, 2 red flags so far. Majority of playlists. Okay, we'll get more into that. And then similar. The no SBMM will be similar. Wonder what that could mean. They go on. The exception will be 1 rotating mosh pit at launch, where skill will be an important consideration. So there will be SBMM on. And rank play, obviously, will also use skill as a consideration when it launches. So no one has a problem with ranked play taking skill into account, fucking obviously. That's the point of ranked play. So no one's mad about that. However, the exception will be 1 rotating mosh pit at launch, where skill will be an important consideration. Now, what's interesting about that is that I called it to a fucking T, and I hope that helps. And I was arguing with multiple people in our Discord. So here's what happened. Let me recount this for you. They say, oh, we're removing SBMM in that post-beta blog post. Our next episode, I say, this doesn't matter. This is cap. Don't believe them. And I hope that helps. Originally, I doubted they were going to do it at all because they had tweeted like, we're considering testing removing SBMM. I didn't even think they were going to do that, but they did. They were like, okay, we're actually doing it. We put it in the playlist for the beta. So that I was wrong about. But once they added it, I had said they deserve no credit until the game launches and we've played it and there's no SBMM. And even if that happens, they don't really get credit until it's October of 2026, and there's still very minimal SBMM. Because here's what's going to happen. They are using this post-beta blog post to farm positive community sentiment by saying, look, guys, we're finally listening to you because Battlefield's popular and because Arc Raiders is about to come out. Please don't forget about us. We're going to finally obey all the things you've been asking for 5 years. We're going to remove SBMM. We're going to nerf aim assist. We're going to keep lobbies together. And then I said, but once the game rolls around and the Battlefield hype has died down and the Arc Raiders hype has died down and the pre-orders are in, they're going to start walking it back, rolling it back. And as this year goes on, that will get even more pronounced. On Mamas, I'm calling it fucking now. And I was surprised to read this tweet because they started the backpedal before the fucking launch of the game. That's incredible. I couldn't have seen that coming. Now, some of you might say, well, Raz, you're overreacting because the majority of playlists have no SBMM. There's only one measly little playlist that has no SBMM, or that does have SBMM. But here's the problem. If you are a subpar player or an average player, and you're getting farmed badly in every playlist, you're going to think to yourself, I want protection. I'm going to go to the SBMM on playlist so that the players I'm playing against aren't random, but they are my skill level, which is not very good. And then all of a sudden, most of the bad players, or below average or even average players, are only in the SBMM playlist. So then, all the no SBMM playlists, who's left? Only really good players. That would feel exactly like SBMM. So you have entirely defeated the purpose of removing SBMM if you allow for a playlist where it's on, where all of the average and below players will go to. So now their lobbies in the SBMM playlist are going to feel like it's on. And then everyone else in the non-SBMM playlists are also going to feel like SBMM is on, because only good players are going to queue for the no SBMM playlists. So they have effectively nuked the entire thing. Not totally, because there are some players who are going to still, who would maybe benefit from going to the SBMM playlist who don't think so, or don't even know, and they'll queue for the open playlist anyway. And that's fair. I'll grant that. But this is a significant detriment to the entire fucking point of the change. And again, more importantly, this happened before the fucking launch. What about when season 1 rolls around, or season 2, or season 3, when Battlefield has no more hype, Arc Raiders has no more hype, and their player count is fucking dwindling, and their microtransaction numbers are dwindling because the game sucks, but in their view, it's because not having SBMM on is making them lose revenue. Guess what they're going to do? Crank that shit up maximally. So just to be clear, the entire time I was correct, and I hope that helps. Obviously. Well. And to all of you who were bitching at me in Discord on the day that they put that post-beta blog post out, you were wrong. You were wrong, and you owe me an apology. Obviously, because of course this was going to happen. Duh. Never believe them. They're always lying. And luckily, much to the credit of the Call of Duty community, people are mad, and they're bad. LMAO rug pull. Swag. Why is there even an SBMM playlist? Trolling. Parasite. I don't like the wording of this at all. All you said beta matchmake will be the default. Right before release, you add this. Hey, Treyarch, this you. Yeah, it's actual liars, not the default if it is not on every mode. That's not exactly true, but...
Yeah, I was going to say that one. That guy's just an idiot. That's just not true.
And then here's another good point, which I brought up. Does similar to the beta experience mean it won't be exactly like the beta? Obviously, that's what it means. The important question is, in what way is it dissimilar if it's not exactly the same? Because everyone liked the no SBMM one. So, yeah. And you people need to just fucking get this, finally. Maybe this will be the thing that sets you over the edge. Maybe this will be your black pill. Fucking never believe this company. Never believe them. It's all lies, deceit, obfuscation. Every time, obviously. So if they say something that you think is good or that appeals to you, maybe a little too much, take a closer look. You engage your brain once. They don't care about you. They care about their bottom line.
It's a mosh pit also. So like how many people aren't going to even want to play those modes so they wouldn't queue for it? It literally all comes down to how they put it in the game, like how it's stacked up in the UI. And you do have to go to like a separate screen to get there. So in my opinion, all the bad players who would, if they knew, would probably want to actually play the SBMM mode won't even know that it's there or know how to get to it, because it's not like the first thing you see at all. You have to essentially go to a different tab when you're in the find a match screen. So
right.
That's my take. I don't think this is actually going to be that big of a deal at all, to be honest.
I think there will be...
If it was the main mosh pit that was the top button when you launch the game, right, yeah, that's terrible. But based on how they kind of hid it away in here, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
So, yeah, in some sense, I agree. And I think I kind of said that. Like, there are going to be players that don't think it's going to benefit them, even though it would, or they are so casual, they like don't even find it. Like, they don't even know it exists. So they never actually queue for it. And that's a lot of people, to be fair. Like a lot of very average players, they're like, oh, I like playing search and destroy, so I'm going to get on and I'm going to click on that button every time. Or I like, team deathmatch, so I'm just going to click on the team deathmatch button. And that will have a similar to the beta experience lack of SBMM, whatever the fuck that means. They don't explain, of course. So that's fair. But this is still going to be worse than no SBMM in every playlist. The question really is just to what degree. And it might not be that detrimental, or it might be probably somewhere in the middle. I don't know. But I largely agree with you. I don't really think it's actually going to matter that much, probably. Although it might. I don't know. I don't know how many people are going to find it. But more than that, it's the fact that they did the thing again, which is lying. That's the thing. Where they said, oh, there's going to be no SBMM on the launch of the game. And then before the game launches, that isn't true, because there is SBMM. So like, they're already backpedaling it. They're going to go farther. That's the important point here. Whether or not this is that big of a deal for the no SBMM community, they're going to keep rolling it back. I mean, they already started before the game fucking launched, because they could get away with it, and they're going to keep doing it. I guarantee it. I fucking guarantee it. Whether we get an announcement when they start doing that, I don't know. Here's what I would say. Here's the red flag. Either one, they'll actually say it and be like, hey, by the way, we're turning SBMM back on because we have lower player retention. And they're going to show some fucking completely doctored fake graph that they made up, or that's wildly, like, I don't know, skewed. I can't, the word's not coming to me, to justify it. Or one day there's going to be a patch. You're going to log in, and that SBMM Mosh Pit playlist will be gone. And then some people are going to be like, oh, cool, finally, there's no SBMM at all. And those people are going to be very wrong. It's going to be the opposite. They took out that playlist because it's obsolete now, because they turned SBMM back on for all the playlists. That is what you're going to need to look for. So anyway, Pat has apologized. I don't remember Pat arguing with me, but thanks. But everyone else, I think there were like 5 of you. So just, you can hit my Discord DMs. Thanks in advance. And obviously, of course, they're going to lie to you. So cool stuff. So really bad start. And it's terrible news. Now let's move on to the meat and the potatoes, which is, of course, the patch notes, the preseason patch notes. All of that is not to say what's happening with Warzone, by the way. We have no idea what they're going to do to SBMM in Warzone, if anything. We have no idea. So keep that in mind. Welcome to launch week. This was posted yesterday. They have a little chart of all the times, but everyone's in New Zealand. So here we go. In our latest dev talk, we got stuff, which we've gone over. Global aim assist. So here's another big one. And we did know they were going to nerf aim assist, or excuse me, they said they were going to nerf aim assist in that post-beta blog post, but they hadn't described in what way, what exactly they're going to do. And I think the consensus among people in the know was mainly nerf rotational. So let's see what they say. Following the beta, we discussed our plans to adjust aim assist, and today we're sharing the changes that will be coming to multiplayer at launch. These changes will also go live in Warzone with Season 1. So we're getting these changes to Warzone as well. Good. Our goal with the adjustments is to create a more balanced and competitive experience for all players, regardless of input choice. It is also important to us that these changes preserve the core feel of Call of Duty controller gameplay. Here's a question. What is the current core feel of Call of Duty controller gameplay?
Fat fucking aim assist.
I mean, that's, yeah. Like, actually, there is no feeling other than Jesus take the wheel, but okay. When looking at engagements between similarly skilled controller and KBAM players, we found that controller is slightly favored to win at close ranges, and KBAM is favored at long ranges. So I just don't believe this, just as a reminder. There's no shot. Yeah. Controller is slightly favored, and then KBAM isn't slightly favored. They're normal standard favored at long ranges. Bullshit on both of those points. So, okay. In addition to collecting data, notice they don't give us any percentages or numbers at all. We have also followed community discussions on the effectiveness of rotational aim assist. Good. They're looking in the right spot. Based on the data and feedback, our launch adjustments focus on the strength of rotational at short and long range, as well as the requirements to fully activate rotational aim assist. We look forward to hearing your feedback on these changes, and we'll be gathering more data to continue our push for a level and competitive playing field in BO7. Okay. In Black Ops 7, we are increasing the range before full rotational aim assist strength is achieved. Hold on. In BO6, we updated rotational strength at close range to scale over a short distance. What does that mean?
I don't know.
The closer they are, the stronger it is, I think is what that means. In BO7, we're increasing the range before full rotational strength is achieved. So I guess they have to get even closer to get full strength. I'm not really 100% clear what that means. Additionally, we have slightly increased rotational aim assist strength at very long ranges.
Well, hold on. Okay, that first... In Black Ops 7, we are increasing the range before full rotations. Isn't that just saying how, like, in BO6, there was, like, that 3 meter cutoff where it basically did nothing? So this is probably, like, 4 or 5 meter cutoff. Aim assist won't essentially do anything that close.
Yeah, you're right. That's definitely what it means. You're right. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so that's good. That's a good start. Depends what the range is or whatever. I don't really know. But we'll talk more about how this actually feels in a minute. Okay. Additionally, we've been slightly increased rotational strength at very long ranges. This is actually fine. This is fine. I don't think this is a big deal. A new right stick aiming requirement has also been added to rotational aim assist. Think about how insane this sentence is, by the way. It's a new requirement that you're moving your right stick to get rotational aim assist.
You have to move your aim stick to
aim.
Yeah.
To get aim assist. Yeah.
Track. Yeah.
Think of just how insane that sentence is. This is new since 6 years ago. So for 6 years, you have not had to touch your right stick. Got it. Previously, full rotational with strength was achieved regardless of aiming direction or which stick was being controlled. It's just diabolical. With this update, the player's right stick movement must be tracking an enemy target for rotational to activate at full strength. Meaning, if it's not on the right stick, you're still going to get some rotational, just not full strength, which may or may not be good enough. I don't know. If the conditions are not met, rotational strength will be reduced. For example, if only the left stick is being controlled during an engagement, rotational aim assist strength will be reduced. This is a great start. This is a great start. There are a lot of vagaries, and I don't expect them to give us details on something like this, because that would entail saying things like, oh, if they're within 6 and 9 degrees of your character, then your coefficient is going to be XYZ. I don't know what that's going to mean. So they can't really get into details here. That's fine. But we'll have to see how it feels. But go ahead, sorry.
Hexsmith will have data out probably
Hexsmith will have
by
a goated
tomorrow
video.
morning. Because I think he was the first one to figure out the thing where it was like 3 meter is how it was in BO6, where basically within 3 meters you like didn't get any aim assist at all. So I'm sure he'll have some info out here soon that'll be very helpful. If he doesn't already, I'll have to check actually. Maybe he's in New Zealand playing. Yeah.
Yeah, so follow him on Twitter, Hexsmith. Is it HEX or CS? CKS?
Heck. HECK.
Heck Smith.
Smith.
Okay, yeah. Give him a follow. He's a good guy. Good bloke. Movement updates. He's British, though, I think. British warning. Movement updates. Adjusted mantling. So anyway, that's it for the aim assist thing. So based on what I've been hearing, and a little bit based on what I've been seeing, though, again, we haven't played yet, this is a substantial nerf. It seems like this is pretty good. Like, controller players are noticing it, but it's not like it's completely gutted. You're still going to be able to compete on controller. It's almost certainly still better than keyboard and mouse overall. But it seems to be a substantial, though not, colossal nerf to aim assist, which is very, very good. And we needed that for years, and that's awesome, if true. The data's not all in yet, and the jury's still out for sure. It's day one. It's not even day one yet. It's day zero. So who knows? And they're going to change.
They're going to
more,
buff
probably.
aim assist again. They absolutely will. There's a lot of people complaining.
Yep.
On Twitter and stuff. I need time to adjust to the new aim assist.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people saying things. They over nerfed aim assist. Aim assist feels weird. Yeah. So
that's good news. That's good news. And you should be happy about that whether you're on controller or not, because if you're not, obviously, and if you are, that means you can have more skill expression and you can actually win a gunfight, even if you're disadvantaged, like you have less health, against someone who is way worse than you at aiming. Now, instead of killing you anyway because the aim assist was so strong, you can kill them because they might actually miss bullets and you aim better, so you capitalize on that. So I think every good player, or even if you're not good, every player who wants a skill gap and wants to improve should be very pleased with this, because now there's a wider skill gap between controller players and between KBAM and controller players as well. So yeah, but we'll see. They're still going to change it. I'm sure they're going to buff it in a month or two, like 100%. When they add SBMM back in, but crank it up extra. And I hope that helps you. But more, we're getting this for Warzone 2. So that's really good. I'm very pleased. But again, the jury's still out. So yeah, there's a lot in motion here. So anyway, moving on from that. Movement updates. Better mantling. Slightly reduced slide acceleration, speed, and duration. I have not seen any complaints about this. So that's fine. XP rates. You get weapon XP faster.
Oh, you get weapon XP in the game. Okay.
Weapons will reach max level about 25% faster than they did in Black Ops 6.
That's good. That's good. That's really good.
That's pretty substantial. So that's really good.
Yeah, 25%. That's a lot.
And then overclock, they made that easier. And daily challenge bonus XP rewards got increased to 5k XP. So they make leveling the guns a lot easier or faster. That's really good. Yeah. Because they were quite fucking slow in the beta. You can now reroll one daily challenge per day per mode. I really like this. I wish they would have added this sooner, actually. Because the challenges where it's like kill 5 flashed enemies or stunned enemies, those are always the worst and it isn't close. So being able to reroll something every day is really good. And you still have to do something, so that's awesome. And then they describe what re-rolling a challenge means, as if you can't discern, but that's fine. Medals and score events, don't care. Yeah, so we're not reading literally all of these, by the way, obviously, but a lot of them we will, the important ones.
Black Ops 7 is almost here. Wow.
Nice. Yes, that's what they're saying. Weapons, multiplayer, and zombies. They write a lot of words. Okay, wait. So these changes... Okay, so these changes apply to both multiplayer and zombies. And then additionally, there's going to be specifically zombies only weapon patch updates or whatever. But here are some important ones. Assault rifles. All assault rifles. Jump ADS speed penalty increased from 30 to 40%. Okay. So now jump shotting is even worse. And here's another one. Jump sprint to fire penalty increased from 35 to 45%. Keep in mind, by the way, the entire gimmick of this game is wall, say it with me, jumping.
Jumping, yes.
And
not
then
while
they
running, man, while jumping.
And then they nerf your ability to aim your gun or shoot your gun while jumping more. Okay. Why? Why the fuck did they do this? It doesn't make any goddamn sense. So they nerfed the slide so that they encourage people to take more gunfights with a jump or a wall jump. And then they also nerfed the jump. Okay, so this is MW 2. Got it. I will say, based on gameplay I've seen, doesn't look super slow or whatever, but like this was so unnecessary. I don't understand why they did it at all.
Yeah.
They literally want people to just be like, turn off auto tac sprint and or auto sprint and just walk around and shoot their gun. Like, what? Can't slide, can't jump. Okay. Anyway, just doesn't make any sense. Tac laser, don't care. And then specific weapon balance changes, we're literally not reading any of them. it doesn't matter. We'll see what guns are good or what isn't. So it's day zero. So use all the guns. You'll figure it out. This is interesting though. On SMGs, we have pulled back the range across the board and moved some of it back into barrel attachments. So when they say range, I'm assuming they mean damage range and not velocity. We want SMGs to have a well-defined role as close quarters weapons with damage upside, and the choice to build further into that or try to make them more effective at a distance. So general adjustments, jump ADS and sprint to fire, 10% worse for SMGs as well. Okay. Like for assault rifles, I can maybe accept that if you didn't touch the SMG. So it's like if you want to just run around like a monkey and jump around and kill people, that's what SMGs are for. Wrong. Because the SMG penalties are the same percentages for sprint to fire and jump to fire. And aim down sight. Why? Again, doesn't make sense. And then some specific changes. Shotguns are undergoing a significant rework to their damage mechanics. They now have 2 damage values, pellet damage and base damage. Pellet damage is applied for each pellet that hits a target, which is how shotguns worked previously. The base damage is applied once per shot that hits an enemy, regardless of how many pellets hit. That's interesting. So if you hit only 1 pellet of your 10 pellets that you shoot, you will be getting a floor of damage, which is going to be more than what it was. My understanding. Having these 2 separate damage values gives us much more control over the consistency of shotguns across ranges. It enables us to establish a damage floor, using the base damage and keep pellet damage lower to prevent extreme spikes. Okay, so they're bringing the damage you're going to do on a hit marker closer together. I actually might kind of like this as long as they're not busted. As such, we are now allowing all pellets to do damage where we previously capped damaging pellets to 4. That's a good change too, because if I hit all my pellets, I should be getting rewarded for that. We'll be keeping a close eye on their performance as we dial in this new damage paradigm. This is clever. I think I like this a lot, actually. Because shotguns can feel very hit or miss. Because yeah, sometimes you'll hit like 1 or 2 pellets and it's like 8 shots to kill. But then other times you'll randomly get all of them and you one tap and you're like, this thing is so inconsistent. It feels so bad. Now it'll feel less inconsistent, but there's still value to hitting all your pellets. I like this. This is a good change, I think. Yeah. In addition, we made some improvements to slugs. Don't use slugs. We want slugs to be a viable playstyle that opens up more use cases for shotties outside of close quarters. Lastly, we've increased the hip fire spread while sprinting with the gung-ho perk. Okay. This is another one we're watching to make sure there's a meaningful mid-range trade-off when building for this aggressive playstyle. Okay. Well, that's the point of the gung-ho perk, isn't it? To run and gun. But then nerf the hip fire. Okay. Whatever. And then all the jump penalties also apply to shotguns. Leg and foot multipliers from 0.8 to 1.0. So those got stronger. And then some specific changes. LMGs. Jump ADS and sprint to fire penalties added again. Okay. Marksman rifles. Same penalties. You can't jump. They nerfed everything. Snipers don't have the jump penalty added to them, so keep that in mind. You can jump shot with those. Nor do pistols. Launchers. Reduce turn sway and idle motion. Enabled idle sway delay system so that ADS starts perfectly centered. It's crazy that it wasn't that earlier, but that's fun. And then general weapon attachment changes. Muzzles will now improve tack stance spread and all hip spread values. Jump, slide, and dive spread values improved by 10%. Okay, so they're clawing back the nerfs we just went over by adding them to attachments. Okay, sure. It's kind of limiting potentially, but we'll see. Yeah, oh, that's the mobility spread muzzles, by the way. Mobility foregrips now improve movement speed and no longer improve sprint speed. Interesting. That does improve sprint speed by extension. It's just not as much. Fast mags and flip mags have their starting and max stock ammo increased. Oh, to compensate for smaller mag sizes. So you'll spawn with more reserve ammo. The mag's gonna get bigger.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess. And they're really wanting tack spread to be a thing. Tack spread stock now increases all hip spread values, including jump, slide, and dive. And then all weapons had the tack stance spread improvement increased by 2% by this stock, except for subs, which improved by 5%. So they like buffed tack stance for every category of gun, by the way. I didn't read it, obviously. But seems like they really want this to be a thing. It kind of has been a thing in the past too. On Urzikstan, actually, in MW 3. Tack stance was a thing. I used it a fair amount on some subs and some shotguns, and it's really good. So maybe that'll come back. I think that's a fun little alternative playstyle that like some guns and playstyles can utilize. Hopefully that'll be a thing, but we will see. And then the millimeter scanner, I don't know, whatever. I don't care, don't use it. And then maps. So they updated map spawn points and stuff. Whatever, doesn't matter. Perks. They already have talked about this, so most of these we are not going to read.
They redid all the perks, the category. They combined a lot of them. Yeah,
we did a whole Patreon episode on this, so go listen to that if you want. Where they combined a bunch of perks into, and then like moved some to different categories, so you can like use 2 perks at the same time you weren't able to before. In addition to that, added increased minimap visibility to vigilance. I don't know what that means. Do they mean you get a larger area on your minimap to look at? Or does it mean they added pixels to it? I don't know what this means. Slightly increased.
Display a HUD icon whenever you appear on enemy minimaps. Immune to CUAV and Scrambler.
Oh, I know what this means because it bugged me. It was very difficult to tell whether the icon was lit up or not. That indicates if you're on UAV. They probably made it easier to tell. So that's a good change, actually. It needed that.
Yeah.
Slightly increased assist score radius of charge link and blast link. And then increased tactician combat specialty elimination score. Okay, cool. Equipment. I'm excited for some of these. Needle drone now eliminates enemies on direct impact. Which one is that?
One of them, man. It doesn't matter. It's a fucking drone. Who cares?
Needle drone.
I think is that a lethal or something?
I think it's the lethal that's like the, you remember the one that was the paper airplane?
Small flying drone that explodes on impact.
And it goes in just a straight line, right?
You can either send it forward or manually steer it.
Okay. Yeah, this was really good. I forget the name of it in MW 3, but it was really good for a while in Warzone. Because you could just send it in a straight line to an opposite, drone? Like, breacher drone, I think. Yes.
Yeah, breacher drone. Yeah, we would use that in Warzone sometimes. Kind of like
it was really good.
You could snipe people with it.
Yep. Or you'd like snipe someone who's like on a roof in a doorway that goes like to the staircase. You get it down, they'd start crawling in the door, and you just aim right at that door, send your breacher drone, and it'll finish them for you. It was really good, actually, yeah. That's what the needle drone is, and it now kills enemies on direct impact. This is fine. They're slow. Don't get direct impacted. Increase the HUD warning radius of that drone, so you're warned sooner. Let's see. Reduce duration of EMP grenade HUD scramble effect. That's good too. Okay, field upgrades. Improve charge time balance across all field upgrades and charge time boosters, so you'll get them sooner. That's what that sounds like. Address an issue with drone pod limbs where it was not awarding the full score. Reduce the duration and area of effect of squad link and set a deployed limit of 1. And trophies can no longer be deployed underwater. Okay, no huge issues with really any of that. And then score streaks. Not reading all of these.
The dog.
So their health, hits to kill, and score costs have all been adjusted. They don't go into specifics. 2 dogs can be active per team now. So it's like having 2 mantises at the same time if you're a BO4 enjoyer. That's a lot. So keep that in mind. And the dog can now map traverse more often. So it's going to be hunting your bitch ass more easily as well. And there will be 2 of them. Increased sentry turret targeting distance. The main one that was really busted OP was the roly-polies. What was that called?
No idea.
Hunter-killer drone swarm, I think. Those were really, really, really fucking good. They didn't touch those. So they cost money, though. And this is needed. Removed the guitar riff sound effect that played in the beta when killing your nemesis or being killed by your nemesis. This was so toxic that it actually was funny, because you would be getting fucking farmed by someone, and then every time they killed you, to add insult to injury, there would be a very loud fucking bam D-chord or whatever that gets played in your ear, and it would make me laugh because it's incredibly toxic. They've removed it, so that's probably good. Zombies.
Let's not do that.
Comms and live issues. That's
they
it.
have Twitter accounts. That's what they're telling
Those
us.
are Twitter
They have a
accounts.
Trello board. Let's see if they have anything on it yet. Not really. Game's perfect, I guess, huh?
The game's perfect.
Yeah.
So that's it for the patch
Trello
notes.
board.
This was pretty substantial for a day 1 patch. I don't love or hate any of this, really. One thing I didn't see in here, I'm kind of concerned by, is in the either dev talks or tweets or post-beta blog posts somewhere, they mentioned they plan on increasing footstep audio. That is not in the patch notes. I don't know why. So either they did it and didn't mention it, but that would be weird because everything else that was in the post-beta blog post they said they're going to change is in these patch notes. As well as all of the perk changes that they did the dev talk on, those are in the patch notes. So everything they said they were going to do, besides the footstep audio, is in these patch notes. Huh. Did they forget to add them to the game? Or did they forget to add them to the patch notes?
I know
Makes you wonder.
I was watching Metaphor just for a very short time, and this guy like mantled over this wall and he was chasing him, and the guy could have gone left or right. And just through Metaphor stream, I heard the guy's footsteps pretty clearly, and he was like on the other side of a big barricade, probably, I don't know. I mean, not far, probably 10, 12 meters away, but in a lot of COD games, you wouldn't hear that. And I through the stream could hear the guy's footsteps, so because I even noticed that, I'm like, oh, you could hear that guy running around back there, and like which direction he was going.
Okay, cool. So maybe that's real.
So maybe they did. Yeah, maybe it's real.
Maybe that's real and they didn't add it to the patch notes, but we'll see. Yeah, so I don't know. So, yeah. But yeah, I mean, nothing here is super good or bad, I don't think. My big issues, again, from the beta were footsteps were really bad. Visibility in certain areas was pretty bad, like Cortex, the Red Room. But that's not a huge deal. And another thing was the doors. That's not in the patch notes either, because that was another thing. Actually, yeah, now that I remember. They had also said post-beta, hey, by the way, we're going to make more door changes before launch. That's not in the patch notes here. So did they make those or not? I don't know. With that said, especially the door thing, I expect them to, if they haven't done it already, they're going to start making more adjustments to those. So I'm not worried about that. Footstep audio, I am, but we'll see. And then everything else was kind of, you know, what you'd expect. The perk changes were good, I think. We talked about those again on Patreon. And the weapon balance stuff, I don't know. They're going to have to do more weapon balance, and they will. So I'm not super concerned about weapon balance on day 0. And I do like that shotgun change, too. I think that's a neat compromise to, like, yeah, narrow the damage potential per shot you have. So now it's not like you're doing either 1 or 150 damage. It's like you're doing 20 or 100, you know? Like, yeah. So I think that's smart. I think that's a good thing. But all this jump penalties, pretty bad, especially because you're not making up for like all of those nerfs with attachments. Like I think the muzzle it like increased your jump sprint to fire by 10% or something, but your jump sprint to fire by default for every weapon class got nerfed by 10%, so it's a wash. So now I have to sack an attachment for it, and I'm not getting back my jump aim down sight time. So now that's a different attachment to just get that back to how it felt in the beta without needing either of those attachments. That feels pretty awful, especially when the whole new mechanic of the game is wall jumping. Why nerf that? I don't get it. So anyway. Yeah. So other than that, from having watched some gameplay, my first impressions looks about the same as the beta to me, honestly. I don't know how it feels yet, but looked about the same as the beta. Lobbies are pretty sweaty, but that's not the SBMM thing's fault yet, because if you're playing at 4 a.m. on day 0 using the New Zealand trick, you're sweaty. So everyone playing is sweaty. Yeah. So obviously the lobbies are going to be nuts. Average. Yeah.
Above average.
So that I won't strike that against the game yet, although if that persists next week, I certainly will. But yeah, other than that, I don't know. Movement kind of looks the same. Reload speeds, I think, could still be increased a lot.
Sprinting looks slow, man. That's like one of the first things I noticed. The running with your gun out looks slow to me.
But another thing they said they were going to change, I wonder if they did, on that topic, is they said they're going to increase the speed at which you switch to your melee weapon because the running is slow with your gun. And it was really slow to swap to your melee weapon. I wonder if they did that yet either.
Oh, yeah, I wonder.
Because that would help a lot.
I don't remember them saying that, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember where they said it, but they did. So that will help too. So, like, there's more work to be done. But on the topic of the new maps that are in the game, some of them looked pretty good. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I've heard excellent things about the maps. That's one thing that I've heard from a lot of people, is that the maps are really, really good. All of them are excellent, or most of them are excellent. I've noticed too, it could be because the New Zealand thing, but I mean, Metaphor is getting just fucking farmed around corners, and he's even pointed out again like how bad the hit reg is and how bad the servers feel. But I'll give them like 24 hours and see how that's looking once the full game releases. But it looks just like one of my main complaints with BO6 is just, it's so fucking frustrating having a gunfight with somebody close to an edge, and then when you die, they're not even on your screen still because they're around the corner. That shit's just frustrating, and I'll never get over that. And that looks like it happens all the time in this game still, because it's a Treyarch video game, obviously. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It looks like COD multiplayer, yeah.
And we knew that was going to be the case. Yeah, the hit reg wasn't going to be good. We knew that. I wouldn't expect it to get really any better, maybe a little bit. But we'll see. But yeah, again, some of the maps do look good. One of the ones I thought looked actually pretty cool, that I was very surprised by, was the castle one, the like Japanese castle thing. That actually looks like a pretty fun map based on the gameplay I've been seeing of it. So that's cool. The Aurora Borealis one didn't look like it had the best visibility at anywhere, I'm going to be honest. It's very pretty, but
yeah, it is pretty.
It seemed like the visibility was a little bad, but maybe not, because if you're playing the game yourself, you have way better resolution than watching a stream, because the stream is in like 60 frames and it's compressed to shit because it's a live stream. So that might not be an issue at all in the actual game, but like from looking at a stream, that was like, but the layout seemed like it was pretty good. So that's one thing this game does really have going for it. It seems like, luckily, is the map pool is just significantly better than BO6.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal. That's a really big, that's
a major problem in BO6.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one of the top 5 probably most important things in multiplayer, is the quality of the maps. Because like you can have, all the good mechanics you want, but if every map is a completely open football field, the game would suck, right? So like the map quality is a pretty fucking substantial factor in how fun the game is. And luckily, the maps are just way better this year, it seems like, than BO6. Obviously, a little early to say for certain, but that's what the word on the street is. And it's probably true. It's probably true. Although I'm still a Blackheart hater, and you'll never get me to like that map. Mm-hmm. It's not a good map. It's a bad map.
You are a big Blackheart hater.
Yeah. So, anyway.
Looks like a pretty good map, honestly, but...
Okay. Well, yeah, you can let us know next...
Mad.
You can let us... fuck! You can let us know next week how you liked it.
All right, man, I will.
I've said it.
That's going to be one of my faves, so...
Did not ask. All right, so anything else?
No.
I'm going to be honest, guys. There's not much to say until the game
launch. No, we're not.
Yeah. I mean, there's not much to say yet until we play.
Yeah,
so,
the stupid fucking New Zealand thing continues to just take away hype for the game.
Yeah,
it's not fun seeing a bunch of other people's play. It's stupid how they do that shit. So yeah, still.
Especially because it's unclear if it'll work or not. So people that really want to play like as soon as possible have to gamble with their PTO. Like, all right, man, do I take off, Thursday and hope I can do the New Zealand thing this year or not? Like, it's really unfortunate. And the casuals who want to play on launch, they don't know there's a New Zealand trick. So they see all the commercials on Sunday Night Football for Call of Duty Black Ops 7, and they just take off Friday, when in reality they could be playing Thursday evening. So it's dumb, but not the end of the world. So anyway, yeah. Look, guys, a little bit of a short ep today, but like I said, we haven't played yet, so the patch wasn't like enormous, and there isn't too much to say about it yet. So we'll definitely talk way more about it, obviously, next week, once it's been out for a while for everyone, and we've also played it. So until that time, enjoy the game. Hope you guys are having fun, and join the Discord. Let us all know, in fact, your thoughts on how the game's feeling. Because I will also add, to the credit of Activision, they've been pretty consistent for a couple of years now on this, also to their credit, though certainly not every year. It's been a pretty bug-free, well-performing launch. People aren't crashing constantly. People aren't disconnecting constantly. Just like in the beta, the game kind of just works. You could argue the frame rate could be better or whatever, which I'm sure is true, but they will optimize performance in that regard over time, and I'm not super concerned about it. What was very frustrating in times past, though, like particularly Cold War, was an unplayable launch for a lot of people. I think on Xbox, like, you couldn't play entirely also a different game for like a month or something. No one seems to be having those types of issues. Those are a real wet fart. So not having to deal with those is really good. So kudos to them for that. And we'll have more to say next week. So that's it. Love you guys. More Patreon eps are coming. Patreon.com/thedropshot. And finally we got the game. So now the next thing we're waiting for is the integration. And more than that, really, we're waiting for news on what does a blackout experience mean, and can we play bog standard Warzone on Avalon? Those are the things I'm most excited for. Oh, and also, I totally forgot to tell you guys, everyone's first impressions of Endgame. No one's playing the fucking campaign, obviously, stupid fuck.
I've actually seen a lot of tweets about it on Ironic. How that you say that. I've seen a lot of tweets, and everybody so far has said the campaign is fucking awful and terrible, but Endgame's really fun. But I don't care what they say because it's PvE, so it's not fun. Yeah, they're having fun right now because it's day one on the game, but it's not fun. Once they hit level 60 in 3 hours, they're gonna stop having fun on it. Obviously. So anyway, all right, that's it. We will see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye till next time, or not tomorrow. We'll see you next week. Is what I meant to say. You get it. Sure will.
Goodbye.
Bye.